Hello and welcome back to our sustainable journey. I'm Steve. It's been a few months. Winter is pretty darn boring around here. Let me tell you, we don't do a whole lot of anything. The worms are dormant. The animals are all locked away or trying to conserve as much energy as possible. So we took some time off and didn't post a video because literally there was nothing going on. So I've moved the worm bins over here, and then that tree fell down yesterday. So now I need to move that tree out of the way so that I can get to these with the tractor, because I moved them over here so that, you know, it's easy to move with the tractor and whatnot because they're right next to the piles of compost. And then a tree fell down, blocking my path with the tractor. So I will need to address that this weekend, but I wanted to give you an update on our little experiment to see if the worms survived winter in these bins. So I haven't looked. I literally have not looked. So we're gonna do some digging. I'm gonna pull off these weights. We'll put them on this one because I know that one's empty. We'll pop some lids and we'll see what we can see. See if I find any worms or if they all died this winter because of leaving them in these bins. So this one is probably not gonna have any worms in it. Because you can see this is all big stuff. This wasn't anything, this would have been sifting off casts and things like that. So this is all the stuff that didn't make it through the sifters. And so I think I probably sifted right before winter. So that's why this is so darn dry. So what we'll need to do is mix this into some of the mix it up with some compost and get it into one of the bins. So this one I know for a fact is going to be empty because that's the way we left that one. Let's see what this one is. This one should have worms in it because this is pre-sift. Unfortunately, when I moved them over here, I didn't move them in order. So these are all out of order, so I'm going to have to go through and figure out what was what. So this one hasn't been sifted yet. So I know for a fact that there's probably worms in here. The problem is this is 2 feet deep. So we'll have to dig quite a bit to see if I can find where the worms went. So let me do that real quick. So I haven't found any yet, but I have found evidence. They usually go to the corners. I started digging in the middle. You can tell there's definitely evidence of where they've been because this is all very perfect. Compost is basically ready to be sifted, so I will probably what I'll do is I'll feed them in the top of this bin, and that'll entice them to travel through and kind of work their way up from where they've buried themselves on the bottom. And temperatures have not been on our side this spring. It got up into the 80s a couple of days, but then it dropped right back down to the 50s. I think we've only had the air conditioner on like once this year, so it is not quite warm enough where I feel comfortable with them being totally exposed. So it's still kind of winter weather. Like, it's getting cold. It's down in the 40s at night some days, so still chilly. All right, let's check this one. What's this one? Oh, this one's just offshoots. This one's just offcuts from the sifter. Aren't gonna be worms in that. There shouldn't be. This one's promising based on how it looks. Let me get my 4-prong and start digging. This one I'm barely in, and it's already looking good. Like, this is what you want to see. This is perfect. So I know the worms are in here. I just need to stare at it for a minute, and I'm sure I'll find a big worm ball or something in here. So it's good. But yeah, I mean, look at this. This is basically perfect compost. Ready to go. So that's promising. Let's keep going. Oh. All right, we've already got plants sprouting in this one. So yeah, look at this. I could sift this today. Holy cow, this looks beautiful. So clearly the worms have almost finished this. Good Lord, we need to sift this. So that worked out. That one's good to go. One's done. This one is pre-sift. Oh, we're probably gonna have to dig quite a bit. Oh no, actually not that far. I was thinking it would take a bit to find the soil, but no, they've taken everything off the top, or moved down, I guess, left everything on the top. But yeah, this is what they do. So these are what they look like if you just dig a little bit in these bins. So then this will be sifted in the next week or two, if weather permitting, if it stays a little bit warmer than it's been. We've also been getting a ton of rain, which is why I think that tree fell down. Cows are being idiots over there, as they do. Let's see. Another pre-sift. So this is gonna be the same thing. I think this was one of the last minute ones that I made, if I remember correctly. Yep, there you go. You don't have to go far. You can find where the worms are. Right, so they tuck themselves in for the winter, and they eat what they can. So I basically need to scrape the top a couple inches off, and everything else can be sifted out. So that's it. Let's see if I can get in here on this tree. All right, same thing in this one. I just went down a few inches, and you can see it's basically perfectly finished castings. Ready to go. Compost is ready to go. All right, final one. This is kind of scary because I don't know how sturdy this tree is. Oh, this one looks perfect. Jeez, another one. It's got plants growing on it. Yep, this is basically final. So we just need to sift it. So we've got 2 bins that are definitely ready to go, and then probably 2 more that just need the top sifted out. Good, just in time for all the farms around us. So there you go. Worms did great in the winter, given large enough bins. So don't do this with I wouldn't do this with a small bin, but given a large enough bin and enough surface area, they've got plenty of room to contract inside and keep themselves insulated and warm. Look at that. It's amazing. right? That was once your food. Now it's gonna feed your food. Cool. And these 3 piles are the compost. So we dump all the food scraps in here first, mix it with paper, shreddings, and wood chips. Keep mixing it, keep turning it. So this is what it looks like. We obviously need to sift it again because people aren't so good at figuring out what they need to put in their compost. There's plastic spoons, there's garbage bags in there, we get cans, I've seen bottles, spoons. We get so many spoons. I have no idea why so many people lose spoons in their food scrap buckets. But man, I probably have at least a dozen spoons. I've got a tea set, which was kind of weird. I'm assuming their kid threw it in there, but we get some weird stuff. So when we sift this, I usually have a helper. When I turn it with the tractor, that is, not sift it, but turn it with the tractor, I have a helper that'll pull out all the miscellaneous stuff that really doesn't belong. But there's not too much. You know, you get little strings and stuff. A lot of those green bags, those will break down. Yeah, this is what this looks like. And we just turn it over and over and over again. And then sometimes critters get in there and they make a little home, or they find where the food scraps are. It's usually messy on the days when we when we refill the pile, because the animals will find it, raccoons and possums and whatnot. But it's almost time for the volunteer plants to start taking shape. So we get tomatoes and squash and pumpkins and things like that that'll grow in these piles. Normally I don't let plants stay in my compost pile because they're taking nutrients that I want in the pile, but we'll take volunteer tomatoes and volunteer squash. We got a bunch of cherry tomatoes and all kinds of stuff last year. It was great. So we'd check our garden and then we'd check this garden every single day to collect more veggies and whatnot. So there you go. All right, thanks for checking in. Hang on, see that? That's a metal spoon. Floats to the top of the surface every time. Interesting. So anyway, thanks for checking in. We will see you all next time, and I'll try and post more regularly now that it's spring and everybody is out and about and we're actually doing stuff here on the farm. See you later. All right, this is a spoon, right? So you just saw me grab that spoon. I just got this is another metal spoon, right? I swear I've had these at like hibachi places with soup. And this is the 3rd or 4th one of these we've gotten. I'm hoping to get a full set. We just gotta sift these 3 piles and see what I can find. Maybe I can find some more spoons. It's great. I'm gonna start a silverware store.